Ladies and gentlemen, for the smoothness and ease of our conference activities, let us start this event by reading a prayer, which I will lead directly by saying Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bapak Ibu, demi kelancaran dan kemudahan kegiatan webinar kita, marilah kita buka acara ini dengan membaca doa, yang mana akan saya pimpin secara langsung dengan mengucapkan basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will listen to opening speech from the chairman of the PGRI Muaro Jambi District, Mr. Ismianto MPD. Time is yours.
Bapak Ibu, kita akan mendengarkan kata sambutan dari Ketua PGRI Kabupaten Muaro Jambi, Bapak Ismianto MPD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi untuk Ibu Beverly yang di sana sedang jam 11 malam. Yang kami hormati Bapak Azizan dari Persatuan Guru Malaysia yang kami hormati, Ibu Laila dari PGRI yang kami hormati, Ibu Dr. Dian Mahsunah, Ketua Pengurus Besar Persatuan Guru Republik Indonesia yang kami hormati, Bapak Ketua PGRI Provinsi Jambi, Bapak Dr. Andes Lukman, yang kami hormati Bapak Kepala Dinas Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan Kabupaten Muaro Jambi, seluruh panitia dan hadirin yang berbahagia. Bersama kita bersyukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala yang telah memberikan kesehatan dan kesempatan kepada kita, sehingga pada hari ini kita bisa hadir dalam seminar internasional yang diselenggarakan oleh Persatuan Guru Republik Indonesia Kabupaten Muaro Jambi dalam rangka memperingati hari ulang tahun ke-78 Persatuan Guru Republik Indonesia sekaligus Hari Guru Nasional tahun 2023. Salawat ring salam semoga curahkan pada baginda Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Bapak dan Ibu yang berbahagia, pertama, keluarga besar Persatuan Guru Republik Indonesia Kabupaten Muaro Jambi menghaturkan terima kasih yang sebesar-besarnya kepada Ibu Dr. Dian Mahsunah, Ketua Persatuan Guru Republik Indonesia, yang berkenan hadir pada kesempatan ini untuk membuka acara secara resmi. Terima kasih diaturkan kepada 3 narasumber yang sudah berada di ruangan kita, Ibu Beverly dari Kanada, Bapak Azizan dari Malaysia, dan Ibu Laila Musharrafah dari PBPGRI yang nanti akan membagikan ilmunya kepada kita semua. Semoga semua ilmu yang diberikan oleh beliau nanti menjadi sesuatu yang sangat bermanfaat untuk kita. Terima kasih diaturkan kepada Bapak Kepala Dinas Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan Kabupaten Muaro Jambi. Beliau selalu menyempatkan setiap ada kegiatan guru, beliau akan selalu hadir dan memberikan dukungan dalam setiap kegiatan kita. Semoga beliau diberikan kesehatan untuk selalu membimbing kita semua. Bapak Ibu seluruh peserta yang berbahagia, kegiatan ini merupakan rangkaian hari ulang tahun PGRI. Kita ingin memberikan warna yang berbeda sesuai dengan tema hari ulang tahun kita pada tahun ini, transformasi guru untuk Indonesia maju. Transformasi sudah merupakan satu keniscayaan agar kita bisa maju, dan hari ini kita akan mendapatkan berbagai pengalaman yang sangat menarik dari 3 narasumber kita untuk memajukan pendidikan yang ada di Indonesia khususnya yang ada di Muaro Jambi. Oleh karena itu, kami segenap panitia mengaturkan terima kasih kepada semua pihak yang telah memberikan dukungan atas terselenggaranya kegiatan kita pada hari ini, sekaligus memohon maaf atas segala kekurangan dalam penyelenggaraan kegiatan ini. Apapun bentuk kekurangannya, maka kami beserta seluruh pengurus PGRI Kabupaten Muaro Jambi memohon maaf yang sebesar-besarnya. Akhirnya kami mohon dengan segala hormat kepada Ibu Dr. Dian Mahsunah, Ketua PBPGRI, untuk berkenan memberikan kata sambutan sekaligus membuka seminar secara resmi. Demikian yang bisa diaturkan. Mohon maaf segala kekurangan. Pada Allah mohon ampunannya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Mr. Haji Ismianto, for your speech.
Terima kasih kepada Bapak atas kata sambutannya.
Ladies and gentlemen, next we will listen to the opening speech which will be delivered by the head of District Education and Culture Office Muaro Jambi, Mr. Firdaus SAGMM. Time is yours.
Bapak dan Ibu yang saya banggakan, untuk berikutnya kita akan mendengarkan kata sambutan yang akan disampaikan oleh Kepala Dinas Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan Kabupaten Muaro Jambi, Bapak Firdaus SAGMM. Kepada Bapak disilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, Rahayu. Yang saya hormati pengurus PGRI dari tingkat kabupaten, provinsi maupun nasional, serta seluruh narasumber hebat kita pada kegiatan seminar ini, dan Bapak Ibu guru yang ikut kegiatan seminar ini. Bersyukur kita kepada Allah dengan mengucapkan Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, dan berselawat kita kepada Nabi besar Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mengucapkan Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Saya selaku Kepala Dinas Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan Kabupaten Muaro Jambi diawali dengan mengucapkan selamat Hari Guru dan HUT PGRI yang ke-78. Dan juga saya sangat mengapresiasi kegiatan yang dilaksanakan oleh PGRI Kabupaten Muaro Jambi, seminar internasional. Ini merupakan satu kebanggaan saya bisa bermitra dengan PGRI dan seluruh guru yang ada di Kabupaten Muaro Jambi. Bapak, Ibu, hadirin serta para guru yang saya hormati dan saya banggakan, kita ketahui pada Hari Guru dan HUT PGRI yang ke-78 tahun 2023 ini mengangkat tema Transformasi Guru Mewujudkan Indonesia Maju. Transformasi guru merujuk pada perkembangan dan perubahan peran guru dalam konteks pendidikan modern. Guru selain harus memiliki kompetensi pedagogik, kompetensi profesional, kompetensi pribadi, dan kompetensi sosial, guru juga dituntut melakukan perubahan dan transformasi guna memenuhi kebutuhan belajar siswa. Transformasi ini muncul sebagai respon terhadap perkembangan teknologi, perubahan dalam kurikulum, dan kebutuhan siswa yang berubah. Nah, untuk mewujudkan Indonesia maju melalui transformasi guru, ada beberapa langkah yang kami melalui Dinas Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan Kabupaten Muaro Jambi, diantaranya: satu, peningkatan kualitas guru-guru kita. Peningkatan kualitas kompetensi guru kita ini terus kami kembangkan melalui pelatihan dan pendidikan. Dan juga kami berpihak kepada guru-guru kita yang saat ini mengabdikan kemajuan pendidikan yang masih berstatus honorer dan belum berstatus linearitas maupun belum S1. Ini kami dorong dan upayakan melalui APBD untuk memberikan beasiswa kepada guru-guru kita untuk menyetarakan kualifikasi pendidikannya ataupun meningkatkan kualifikasi pendidikannya. Dan juga kami terus melakukan dan menggerakkan pembel-pembel, menyemangati satuan pendidikan, kepala sekolah untuk mengajak gurunya terus mengikuti pelatihan-pelatihan seperti yang kita lakukan saat ini, yaitu melalui seminar secara daring. Kedua, penerapan teknologi dalam pembelajaran. Guru perlu mengintegrasikan teknologi dalam proses pembelajaran. Mereka dapat menggunakan perangkat lunak pendidikan, aplikasi mobile ataupun platform e-learning. Nah, kami juga berupaya bagaimana untuk memenuhi kebutuhan-kebutuhan sarana pembelajaran di satuan pendidikan yang ada di Kabupaten Muaro Jambi, baik itu dari jenjang PAUD, SD maupun SMP. Sehingga dengan menggunakan teknologi, guru dapat menciptakan pengalaman belajar yang lebih efektif dan relevan bagi siswa. Ketiga, yaitu kolaborasi dan berbagi pengetahuan. Nah, disinilah kita memanfaatkan guru-guru kita, dari guru penggerak, duta teknologi, dan guru-guru yang memiliki prestasi untuk terus mengimbaskan atau mendiseminasikan kepada guru-guru yang saat ini kami akui masih ada enggan atau yang merasa berada di dalam zona aman, yang tidak mau mengupdate diri. Nah, melalui mereka lah kami berupaya mengajak, menyerukan, sehingga bisa memberikan motivasi kepada rekan-rekannya. Selanjutnya, membangun karakter dan keterampilan. Selain kami berfokus pada akademik, tentulah hal-hal yang sifatnya non-akademik terus kami gerakan di kegiatan-kegiatan ekstrakurikuler di satuan pendidikan. Selain agenda-agenda yang sifatnya wajib dan berjenjang, kami coba tampung juga dalam satu kegiatan yang mengemas di dalamnya ada kegiatan seni, budaya, dan olahraga. Sehingga anak-anak kita bisa mengaktualisasikan keterampilan atau bakat-bakatnya. Mudah-mudahan melalui ini kita bisa menguatkan karakter anak-anak didik kita dalam mewujudkan profil pelajar Pancasila. Dan juga kami mencoba mendorong inklusi dan keadilan pendidikan. Melalui kebijakan pemerintah daerah, kami ingin memastikan bahwa seluruh anak yang ada di Kabupaten Muaro Jambi bisa mendapatkan pelayanan pendidikan secara adil dan merata. Dan juga memastikan bahwa tidak ada lagi anak yang ada di Kabupaten Muaro Jambi yang putus sekolah dan tidak mendapatkan pelayanan pendidikan. Dan juga kami berharap melalui transformasi guru yang holistik dan berkelanjutan, kita dapat mewujudkan Indonesia maju melalui pendidikan yang berkualitas. Terima kasih kepada seluruh guruku yang ada di Kabupaten Muaro Jambi dan guru yang ada di seluruh Indonesia dan di seluruh dunia. Kami hadir di sini karena ada peran Bapak Ibu guru. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya dan saya mohon maaf bila ada kata yang salah. Terakhir saya ucapkan selamat Hari Guru dan HUT PGRI yang ke-78. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Firdaus, for your speech. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will listen to opening speech from the chairman of PB-PGRI, Mrs. Dian Mahsuna MPD. Time is yours.
Selanjutnya kita akan bersama-sama mendengarkan kata sambutan dari Ketua PB-PGRI, Ibu Dr. Anda Dian Mahsuna MPD. Kepada Ibu disilakan.
Terima kasih Ibu Rika dan Ibu Petriah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera, salam, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, Rahayu. Very good afternoon. Yang saya hormati Ketua PGRI Provinsi Jambi, yang saya hormati Kepala Dinas Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan Kabupaten Muara Jambi, Bapak Firdaus, MM, yang saya hormati Bapak Ismianto, MPD, Ketua PGRI Kabupaten Muara Jambi, yang saya hormati para narasumber, resource persons, Mrs. Beverly Park, Director International and Social Justice, Canadian Teachers Federation, Mr. Ahmad Azizan Samsudin, from National Union of the Teaching Profession, Ibu Laila Musyarofa, ini teman saya ini dari PGRI Provinsi Jawa Timur. Yang kami banggakan para peserta seminar internasional yang hadir, Bapak, Ibu guru, Bapak, Ibu kepala sekolah, para pengawas sekolah, maupun para tenaga kependidikan. Puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, atas rahmat dan karunia-Nya kita bisa bersama-sama bertemu di layar kaca pada siang hari ini dalam rangkaian kegiatan Hari Ulang Tahun PGRI yang ke-78 dan Hari Guru Nasional tahun 2023. Peringatan ini tentu merupakan anugerah yang terbaik dari Tuhan Yang Maha Esa kepada seluruh guru di Indonesia atas pencapaian usia PGRI yang ke-78 ini, di mana sepanjang usianya perjalanan PGRI selalu mewarnai dunia pendidikan Indonesia, khususnya dalam memperjuangkan harkat dan martabat guru agar lebih baik dan lebih baik lagi. Semoga segala kebaikan dan perlindungan dari Tuhan Yang Maha Esa selalu tercurah kepada kita semuanya. Amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Bapak dan Ibu yang saya hormati, permohonan maaf dari Ibu Ketua Umum Pengurus Besar Persatuan Guru Republik Indonesia pada siang hari ini tidak bisa bersama-sama dengan Bapak Ibu semuanya. Namun salam dari beliau kami sampaikan karena pada saat ini beliau sedang pembentukan, melantik kepengurusan baru di provinsi yang baru di Papua Barat Daya, sehingga kepengurusan PGRI yang semula ada di 34 provinsi, sekarang tambah satu lagi di provinsi yang baru, yaitu di Provinsi Papua Barat Daya. Kebetulan pas pada pagi dan siang hari ini beliau di sana sedang pelantikan, hingga tidak bisa hadir bersama Bapak Ibu semuanya. Masih teringat mungkin Bapak Ibu 2 hari, 3 hari yang lalu, pada hari Sabtu yang lalu, kita memperingati puncak peringatan Hari Ulang Tahun PGRI yang ke-78 di Jakarta, dan saat ini Bapak Ibu di Muara Jambi juga sedang melaksanakan rangkaian kegiatan dalam rangka peringatan HUT ke-78 PGRI, yaitu mengenang 78 tahun yang lalu, tepat 100 hari kemerdekaan Republik Indonesia tanggal 25 November 1945, PGRI hadir sebagai wadah perjuangan guru, pendidik, dan tenaga pendidikan dalam memperjuangkan kedaulatan Negara Kesatuan Republik Indonesia, yaitu berperang melawan kebodohan dan juga keterbelakangan, serta berkhidmah untuk memajukan pendidikan nasional. Sehingga kiprah PGRI tidak terlepas dari memperjuangkan untuk mencerdaskan kehidupan bangsa, karena terlahir 100 hari sejak kemerdekaan. Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati, PGRI sebagai organisasi profesi guru, pendidik dan tenaga pendidikan tumbuh menjadi kekuatan moral intelektual dalam memperjuangkan peningkatan harkat martabat para guru. Ini PGRI memang harus lebih mengedepankan sikap inklusif, dialogis, dengan memegang teguh etika saling menghormati dalam spirit organisasi yang mandiri, unitaristik, sebagaimana juga sifat PGRI yang unitaristik, independen, dan juga non-partisan. PGRI terus menjaga kemitraan yang strategis dan konstruktif dengan pemerintah maupun pemerintah daerah. Di sini hadir Bapak Kepala Dinas Pendidikan tentunya, dan menjadi wadah juga aspirasi para anggotanya dalam meningkatkan harkat martabat guru untuk mewujudkan tujuan pendidikan nasional. Bapak Ibu, dalam proses pendidikan memang guru menjadi aktor utama dan yang sangat penting, yang memainkan peran strategis. Kedudukan terhormat yang dimiliki para pejabat di lembaga legislatif maupun eksekutif tentu tidak terlepas dari peran dan jasa para Bapak Ibu guru semuanya. Bapak Ibu, hikmah terpenting yang dapat dipetik adalah peran guru tidak akan pernah tergantikan teknologi. Guru merupakan profesi yang menjadi suluh, yang menjadi obor ya terbaik agar bangsa ini dapat terus berjalan menuju arah yang kita cita-citakan bersama. PGRI pada usia yang ke-78 tahun ini, pada situasi yang zaman yang telah berubah, sesuai dengan tema HUT PGRI, Transformasi Guru untuk Indonesia Maju, bahwa mau tidak mau sudah sepantasnya kita terus harus mengikuti perubahan yang terjadi, sebagaimana juga ada seorang guru harus selalu mengupdate kemampuan. Continuous professional development itu yang terus harus dilakukan, karena tidak akan terjadi perubahan kalau diri kita tidak mau berubah. Pengurus dan anggota PGRI di semua tingkatan harus adaptif dalam merespon segala perubahan dengan saling belajar dan berbagi dengan sesama guru. Di samping memperjuangkan juga kesejahteraan dan kepastian status guru, PGRI juga aktif melakukan berbagai kegiatan peningkatan kompetensi seperti yang dilakukan pada siang hari ini. Ada seminar internasional luar biasa yang dilakukan oleh Muara Jambi, juga ada workshop atau karya, seminar dan sebagainya yang menyasar, yang sasarannya adalah jutaan para guru yang berada di seluruh tanah air. Bapak Ibu yang berbahagia, masih banyak pekerjaan rumah terkait dengan tata kelola guru yang akan terus diperjuangkan oleh PGRI. Bapak Ibu tentu masih ingat betapa kita telah terus-menerus memperjuangkan Bapak Ibu para guru honorer agar memiliki status yang bisa dibanggakan seperti juga para guru yang ASN, sehingga telah diterbitkan Undang-Undang ASN tentang pengangkatan guru honorer sebagai P3K, dan kemarin terakhir ada revisi Undang-Undang ASN yang lebih memperkokoh status dari para P3K di dalam undang-undang tersebut, Bapak Ibu. Kami mohon para rekan sejawat, Bapak Ibu, para anggota PGRI, serta dengan sungguh-sungguh untuk menjaga integritas, dedikasi, serta loyalitas menjadi contoh keteladanan dalam pendidikan karakter dengan tidak mudah, dengan sungguh-sungguh melaksanakan proses pembelajaran yang berkualitas. Kami minta juga mohon kepada pengurus PGRI di semua tingkatan bekerja keras, mengawal perjuangan dan aspirasi anggota. Jadikan PGRI sebagai wadah aspirasi dan rumah belajar yang nyaman bagi semua anggota. Akhirnya, sekali lagi saya atas nama Pengurus Besar Persatuan Guru Republik Indonesia mengucapkan selamat Hari Ulang Tahun ke-78 PGRI dan Hari Guru Nasional tahun 2023 kepada Bapak Ibu semua, khususnya Bapak Ibu yang mengikuti seminar dan Bapak Ibu yang di seluruh Jambi, Provinsi Jambi khususnya, dan khususnya lagi yang mengikuti seminar ini. Saya bangga di sini ada hampir 400 ya peserta yang ikut hadir di dalam seminar ini. Mudah-mudahan dengan mengikuti seminar ini bertambah wawasan Bapak Ibu semuanya, tentu semuanya dalam rangka untuk meningkatkan kualitas pembelajaran yang nanti tentu akan berdampak juga kepada peningkatan kualitas para lulusan yang tentu kita harapkan semuanya untuk mewujudkan Indonesia emas. Semoga dedikasi, loyalitas, dan juga pengabdian para guru, Bapak Ibu guru, kepala sekolah, pengawas, juga tenaga pendidikan menjadi obor penerang bagi bangsa, juga kemanusiaan, serta ibadah kita kepada Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Tuhan yang Maha Esa. Mari kita bersama-sama wujudkan melalui transformasi guru, kita wujudkan Indonesia maju. Selamat dengan mengucapkan Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, maka seminar internasional ini saya buka secara resmi. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mrs. Dian, for your opening speech and opening this international conference. Ladies and gentlemen, as stated by Mrs. Dian, as a head of PGRI, that the role of teacher will never be replaced by technology. Teacher must always update their abilities to achieve good change. It's such as a good word from Mrs. Dian. Thank you, Ms. Dian, for your opening speech.
Saya pamit ya, Bapak Ibu semuanya, selamat mengikuti sampai selesai. Terapkan apa yang sudah diterima di kelas masing-masing. Selamat sekali lagi Pak Is, selamat.
Oke, terima kasih Bu Dian. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the event that all of you have been waiting for, namely the presentation from our great speaker from three countries, namely Malaysia, Canada, and Indonesia.
Baiklah Bapak Ibu semua, sampailah kita pada acara yang sangat ditunggu-tunggu oleh Bapak Ibu semua, yaitu pemaparan dari narasumber hebat kita yang berasal dari 3 negara, yaitu Kanada, Malaysia, dan Indonesia.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will hand it over to our moderator, Mrs. Ervina. Okay, Mrs. Ervina, time is yours.
Selanjutnya, kami akan serahkan kepada moderator kami, Ibu Ervina MPD. Kepada Ibu Ervina, disilakan.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Rika and Mrs. Siti Badriah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's very pleased to meet you all on this occasion, the first online international conference held by PGRI Muaro Jambi. Senang sekali rasanya bisa bertemu dengan Bapak Ibu semua pada seminar internasional online pertama yang diselenggarakan oleh PGRI Muaro Jambi. And now we have arrived at the presentation session. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Ervina, and I will lead you all in this presentation session. Perkenalkan terlebih dahulu, nama saya Ervina, dan saya akan memandu Bapak dan Ibu semua pada sesi presentasi. Okay, now I will introduce you to three of our invited speakers. The first one, we have Mr. Ahmad Azizan Samsudin from National Union of the Teaching Profession, Malaysia. Mr. Azizan is an ICT Assistant Secretary General at UTP and also Branch Treasurer at UTP Federal Territory. Good afternoon, Mr. Azizan.
Good afternoon.
Okay, how is Malaysia today?
Okay, fine. I'm
Fine.
bit hooked up with another meeting with our ESCO. So
Okay, I see.
I asked permission to come out for 1 hour to
All
just
right.
join with the PGRI here.
Yeah, you
Our fellow
must be
friend.
very busy, right?
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, the second speaker is Mrs. Beverly Park from Canadian Teachers Federation, Canada. Mrs. Beverly, also resource person of John Thompson Fellowship. Good morning, Mrs. Beverly.
Good morning.
Good
It's
morning.
actually the middle of the night for me. It's
Yeah.
now about coming up to 2 a.m., but
2
I'm very
a.m.
happy to be here nonetheless.
Yeah, that must be early morning in Canada, right?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Thank you so much for joining us, Mrs. Beverly. It's an honor to have you here with us.
It's an
All
honor to
right.
be here.
Yeah. All right. The third speaker, we have Mrs. Lailatul Musharrafah from Persatuan Guru Republik Indonesia. Mrs. Laila is Secretary of Foreign Relations of PGRI Sidoarjo Regency. She also PGRI Foreign Relations Task Force Team Lead Organizer PGRI Education International. Hello, good afternoon, Mrs. Laila.
Hello. Good afternoon, Bu Ervina. Halo Azizan. Hi Beverly.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Mrs. Laila. All right, in this session, every speaker will be given time around 30 minutes to do the presentation. Then we will open for 2 questions right after the presentation. Jadi pada sesi ini, Bapak Ibu, setiap pembicara akan diberikan waktu sekitar 30 menit untuk menyajikan materi. Kemudian kita akan buka untuk 2 orang penanya setelah setiap penyajian usai. Okay, now let's start with the first presentation from Mr. Azizan about enhancing teachers' competence through teaching upgrading programs. Penyajian pertama kita oleh Mr. Azizan dengan judul Peningkatan Kompetensi Guru Melalui Program Upgrade Pengajaran. Mr. Azizan, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, time is yours.
First of all, hi Beverly. Hi Beverly, hi Laila, how are you? First of all, I like to say sorry first because I'm a bit rushing, so I don't really prepare I don't see the people, I don't really look at the poster who will be the presenter today, but I recognize Beverly and Laila there. So I feel sorry for that. So okay, I show my PowerPoint first. Before late, I think it's not too late to wish you all happy Teachers Day and happy anniversary PGRI.
Thank you.
Okay. Where I have to present. Share screen, way down. Okay. Okay, can you all view that?
Yes, you can see it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, first of all, like what our moderator earlier introduced, that I'm Ahmad Azizan from NUTP Malaysia. Then I'm a branch treasurer at the NUTP Federal and also Assistant Secretary General for ICT in HQ. And I'm also an academic teacher in SK Jalan Birami. I'm teaching maths in primary school. So our brief history about our NUTP. This is the same slide that I used for a few weeks before with PGRI Flores, with under Pak Maximus. So our NUTP is a collaboration of two big union at the time, which is called NUT and NUNST. Both of them have their own fight and struggles. So they think that when they collaborate and merge together, they can form a stronger union to be heard, their voice to be heard. So that's how the NUTP was formed in 24th June 1974. Okay. Straight away go to our topic today: joining and engaging union, building a unionism and also a solidarity. So in our Malaysian context, when we talk about NUTP, this is something that we practice in our union. Maybe some of our union, some of the things that we practice in our union is better than some of other union might be better than us. So it's just a simple sharing. So maybe you all can take this of it. Okay. So first we have a communication and transparency. Under this, we have an open line communication where any member can voice out their what we call whatever they find like they're not satisfied with the current situation. They can voice out. We have a platform for that. Okay, even we have our own apps called My NUTP. Also they can communicate with us through our social media like a Facebook. We have also Instagram and TikTok. They can communicate any way that they find comfortable with. So other than that, they also can walk into our HQ. They can send their whatever what you call, they have their complaint or their things through the branch and also their school representative. So we make it easier for them to voice out their problem and easy to what we call, get in touch with our um from time to time, we always have a workshop for all our members to make them aware of their rights. Sometimes they join union, but they don't know their rights. They simply pay every month their member dues, but they don't know maybe, oh, this is our rights, we can ask for it, we can voice out. Sometimes they feel like the problem is only for themselves. It's very minor people affected with that. Even it's not matter of that. As long the things affect your career, your working place, that thing can be solved through our union. So we keep on educate our members about this and their rights and whatever that things, our fight, the previous fight, we explain to them so that they can feel like they can have like what we call, they can appreciate working place is more comfortable for them. And when we look at the third one is inclusive decision making. When we make a decision at the higher level, that things is not immediately come to the action. So we will bring this to a lower level, to the branch level, and also in our annual general meeting to what we call to take a decision. Like for example, we decide, let's say we decide want to go for picket. This is not solely come from our higher officers and our higher ranking members. It also involved in everyone. We will send out the circular and ask for their opinion, their what we call, ask them to come together with us and take part in this whatever that things that we plan to do. So their decision, their opinion, everything is matter to us, and we always give room for that. They can openly talk and give their opinion about anything. Okay. Look at other things here is like building a sense of community. We want to make them to feel like they have someone to fight for them. They have a community which help each other. We protect each other. Sometimes the problem is faced by secondary school teacher, not in primary school teacher. But this fight, we don't fight alone. Normally, whatever that things we fight as the union. It's not, we are not specific to the secondary school teacher or primary school teacher or according to the grade, like in our Malaysia, we have a grade. after 3 years of service, we have a different grade scale for all the teachers. So we don't go for that. Whatever the things for, we fight as a one uniform, like one in under the name of union, and we try to bring we try to solve and bring fair justice for everyone. Then other than that, addressing common concerns. So this is what normally I can say that NUTP mostly involved in this kind of things. For example, we don't have problem in our pay, because our pay is like what I last 2 weeks I have give my talk in PGRI Flores. They're quite surprised. They're quite shocked with the pay that we receive. They say it's too high. So I don't know how far is that true. But we don't have the problem for the pay. But the thing is, the policy and the workload. Sometimes we find like we cannot breathe with the things that they ask us to do. Sometimes it's not relevant or related to what we are doing, our core business like teaching. So our most of the time is being wasted by doing a clerical job, documentations. It's not added value to our children education. So that's the things that normally our union fight for. So these kind of things all we have to bring to the policy makers so that they can understand what is needed and what we have to overcome by have a discussion with the union. We can say that NUTP as one of the what we call, we have a 27 unions here for teachers, but normally NUTP will be the first to be addressed by the government, because we are what we call, we have the most number of members in our country. So they always trust that we have the what we call, we have the financial capacity, and also we have experts that we can solve our small matter within ourselves without involving government. Okay. Then the next one is a solidarity action. Is like normally whenever our member have a problem, we stand together, we fight for it together, and also we what we call certain things that I'm not allowed to be shared here, but we have faced one issue before, which is regarding the teachers from what we call highest grade level cannot be hold or cannot be hold any position in union. So that things we have to try in many other way. At last we found this solution by the help of other organizations. It's not related to the teaching, but some we call it as a ILO. Through the ILO we solve that problem. So now the problem is solved. So we have to try various way, and this is how our solidarity action is taking place. We have a few NGOs like government organizations and bodies. We always be there as a support for them. So in a way, they also been benefiting us in our latest issue when we can solve that problem easily. So this is how the network is very important. My advice is, normally when you're talking about teachers union, don't only look at the union related to the education, but sometimes you have to be linked with other NGOs and other unions, which we don't know when we might need their help, when we might need their expertise. So if you narrow down your circle to be always related to the education unions and educations parties or members, so it won't, I won't say that it won't achieve, but it's very hard to have options that people who might have influence in government decision making. Okay. Then in our union also, we have a professional development opportunities. We always conduct seminars, workshops, and all the whenever the government have a new policy, we are the first to try to give the information to our members. We make sure our members is ready with any policy going. Normally, we will the one who get the first information when the policy is going to be in implement, before it will be announced in public, or it will be released in a social media or press statement. NUTP will know the first, because they will always call us in the round table discussing about the policy changing. They will ask our opinion, they will get our feedback. So normally we are the first to know any policy that going to be in action. So what we do when we get this kind of first tip information. We always prepare with the expertise who can deliver this thing to our member so that they be prepared for any things that going to any changes that going to happen in very future. Apart from this, we also have a recognition for achievement. We have a what we call in Malaysia, we call it as a APC, Anugerah Perkhidmatan Cemerlang. We recognize our teachers who been putting an effort to make a change in children's life. They are for their extra things, what we call is like, not you come to school, you teach and you go back. They take extra effort to make sure every child have an equal opportunity to learn, even though in a rural area and also rural area. In our Malaysia, we have this kind of problem. We have a education gap with the rural area and city area. Where we can find that rural area, they are very difficult with the internet access and everything, but still there is a talented teacher who have like willing to take extra steps to make sure the education, the teaching is being delivered with this underprivileged student. Okay, so I have a small snip that I have a small things that I have something that were like our press statement there, NUTP, from our NUTP things. So maybe you can see that this is the very latest one, 5 days ago, when NUTP said that no public exam is needed. When we find out like we evaluate the things like these things is like more to they're trying to make a commercialize the public exam. So we give our what we call our opinion and our stand for that. Then you can see the other things all in the bahasa. Some things are, look at this like a digital connectivity in schools need efficient planning. So we comment about that. Whenever like we have I told you right, like a gap in rural school and also a city school, digital connectivity, we have find this kind of problem. They have they have invest millions of ringgit for the platform and teaching online everything, but the connectivity is not there, the infrastructure is not at the par level. So we always give a comment on that. Then this one, like the last, we have the shortage of teachers. When we have this kind of problems, it affect our teaching in our daily school. Okay, so far I think maybe we will have some Q&A after this. Maybe you all want to ask anything regarding that what I have explained before. Maybe you all can do that. This is some of the things that our NUTP prepare for our members. We have a debt benefit, education incentive for members' children who excel in a public exam. We have a mandatory retirement fund. We have a critical illness coverage. The critical illness coverage is not like insurance. It is a add-on from what normally they will already have insurance. This is what becoming this critical illness coverage is come from our union fund. We help those in need in very urgent. Then we have an incentive for continuing education of bachelor's, master's, and PhD studies, and also natural disaster relief. This is a sum of it. We have more than this. It's a core, the welfare that we cater for our NUTP members. So look at our topic of discussion today. We have another topic like how to enhancing teacher competence through teaching upgrading programs. So if you look at the picture there, this is our current seminar, not to say last month, I think. This is the last month we have a seminar to all our school representative, so that they know what is going on with our education policies, to make them to give them a proper knowledge, and for whatever the policy is going to take place in very soon. So this is normally been handled by our branch level. So we have all in Malaysia, we have 13 branch. So in each branch, they will have their own program to be delivered to the members and also our school representative. Sometimes when we need to cater a big issue like something like more like a national issue, then how the HQ will step in. They will arrange with the expertise. They will call all the ESCO members and immediate branch manager, branch officers to attend that meeting and to attend that seminars. And then we are responsible to make sure the information to be delivered to all our members. Second, what we do is like a technology integration training. In Malaysia, we have a portal called Delima. This Delima is like a teaching hubs where we have all in one place, where this portal with our school textbook, all the apps like the quizzes, Kahoot, Scratch, everything related to all the apps is being paid and is a premium apps. It's not like we don't need to subscribe anymore because our government already provide the things all for all the teachers. So they can come into this hub and choose what the method of teaching they want to choose. When they also integrated with the Google Classroom, Google Workplace. Everything is inside in this hub. So we have this kind of sophisticated apps, sophisticated platform, but the infrastructure to run these things in our school, that is our lacking part. So that's how normally our NTP fight for. We have all this what do you call, when people get this already have this is expensive to subscribe each of all the apps, but we get it for government provide for us. But only things when we talk about we want to our student to enjoy. Let's say I want to do a quizzes. I have a laptop, but my student don't have the uh, even though if I go so that 20 PCs, so which some of the students have to share. So I find like to so by the time to time also our NUTP always have a concern about to educate our members with the international conference and seminars so that they can go and learn and come back. They can exchange this knowledge and everything. It's like what where I meet Beverly before, Dr. Laila for our Johnson fellowships. So where we get so much of things here today, even in our meeting, our ESCO meetings, this thing is been like always been praised, that saying that we find like one of the best program that I find like full that we come for, and to be prepared to we to be delivered next year to all our members who then have a chance to come together to join this Bangkok conference, so that we will what we call duplicate the same things to our members in Malaysia in NUTP. This is like we provide online learning platforms to enhance the competence. We always keep on doing online learning platforms with the trending new. There's some new things coming in, so we make sure we give that things to make sure everyone can attend. Sometimes they cannot attend when we do physically because they have commitment with the family. In our rural area, it's very hard to get to get access to the center that where we do this program. So we have online learning platforms where they can they can learn in their own easy when their own leisure times. Whenever they have time complete the can be certified for that. Sometimes we have a webinar where we have a webinar.
Hello, Mr. Azizan, we cannot hear you. Halo. Oke. Sepertinya hilang kontak Bapak dan Ibu dengan Mr. Azizan. Oke, sepertinya ini tidak ada Mr. Azizannya. Bagaimana? Apakah kita lanjutkan dulu? Kita cek dulu ya Mr. Azizannya ada di mana.
Mungkin sambil menunggu bisa direview sedikit gitu Bu, penyampaian materi tadi.
Ya. Tadi Bapak Ibu juga sudah ini kan membuka subtitlenya ya, penjelasan dari Mr. Azizan tentang joining and engaging union, building unionism and solidarity. Tadi ada beberapa poin yang disampaikan terkait itu, yaitu communication and transparency, educating members, inclusive decision making, building a sense of community, addressing common concern, dan solidarity action. Oke, sepertinya atau kita lanjutkan dulu ya Bapak Ibu ke ini yang kedua, ke apa namanya, narasumber kita yang kedua, karena sebenarnya tadi kita mau open 2 questions gitu, tetapi karena Mr. Azizannya sepertinya kehilangan sinyal, lost contact, so we have to move to the second presentation. Alright, let's continue to the second presentation.
Mr. Aziz.
Masuk lagi.
Ya, sedang proses.
Sedang proses. Oke, kita tunggu sebentar.
Masih belum sepertinya. Itu
kenapa?
Tidak tersambung.
Tidak tersambung. Jadi kita lanjutkan dulu atau gimana, Pak?
Lanjut aja.
Kayaknya lanjut aja dulu. Beberapa kali.
Kenapa? Kita lanjutkan saja ya. Ya, oke. Thank you so much, Mr. Azizan. It's very interesting presentation actually. Let's give applause to Mr. Azizan. Kita berikan emoticon tepuk tangannya dulu, Bapak dan Ibu, untuk Mr. Azizan. Walaupun mungkin beliau tidak ada di sini. Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, actually we will open for 2 questions, but because Mr. Azizan is not here right now, so I think it's better for us to continue to the second presentation. It's from Mrs. Beverly Park about joining and engaging union, building unionism and solidarity. Jadi sekarang kita lanjutkan dulu dengan pembicara kedua, Bapak dan Ibu, dengan Mrs. Beverly Park, dengan judul Bergabung dalam Persatuan, Membangun Persatuan dan Solidaritas. Alright, Mrs. Beverly, are you ready?
I am ready. I just need to figure out how to share my PowerPoint. And then I will be ready. Just give me one quick moment to figure this out, okay?
Okay, time is yours. Mrs. Beverly, please do your presentation more slowly. I mean, because in Indonesia, English is foreign language. So slowly, more slowly.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. Thank you. No problem.
Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can share my screen now. Actually, can you see this? Can you see it?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Okay. We can see it now.
Okay. Okay, well, first of all, good afternoon to you. For me, it is 1 o'clock. No, actually now it is almost 2:30 in the morning. But nevertheless, I am very happy to be with you because I have had the pleasure of meeting some of your members through a program that I've facilitated. One group I met from PGRI 20 years ago, and one group I met this summer, including Leila. And I have found you to be inspiring. So no matter what the time of day, morning, night, I would never say no to an invitation from you. So thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you. I bring you greetings from the Canadian Teachers Federation. Our members are about 370,000, which is very little compared to you. But we are a very big country, and that presents challenges. We are your colleagues because we are both members of Education International. I want to talk to you about general things like unionism and solidarity, and specifically about meaningful member engagement and the importance of that. So, before I start, I want to be sure that we all have a common understanding of what a trade union is. And I have written this definition is not mine. It comes from the International Labor Organization, and each word here is important. So a trade union is an organization of workers. It is something that is created. It doesn't just, it's not a structure of government, it's not a structure of society. It has to be by the workers, created for them, by them. And the purpose is to protect and promote their interests. And those interests can be social, intellectual, or economic. And it's interesting because Azizan gave really good examples of how the interests of their members were protected and promoted. He talked about learning programs, so the intellectual interests, economics, how well paid they are, so that the union would have been responsible for this. So we are all engaged in some way in unions, but the unions are different depending on the country, the priority, etc. It seems like a very sophisticated definition, but basically it comes down to this: union power is people power. Without people, there is no union and there is no organization. And in this session, I want to focus on how we harness, how we use the people power. So one of the key messages that I would say is that unions cannot stand still. They cannot be stagnant. Their programs, the services, the activities, and even the reason why they exist change as the circumstances around them change. Maybe it will be a political change. Maybe there is an election and a new leader will really cause a different relationship with the teachers, with society. Maybe it's a social change. Maybe there's an educational policy. But whatever happens, we have to be in a constant state of renewal, and we have to keep up with our members and keep up with what is going on. in the society. In 2021, Education International conducted a research in your region, in the Asia Pacific region, to examine the state of unions and how they operate. They wanted to understand basically whether the unions were keeping pace with change, whether they were renewing themselves on a regular basis. And they ask a few very important questions. How is the union reaching its grassroots members? How are they developing new strategies to organize and to mobilize their membership? How are unions preparing for leadership? And they also said unions need to build a common narrative around who they are and what they do, and communicate that narrative to its members. Am I going too fast? It's okay?
No, we can follow that.
Okay. So they made several recommendations. I will just focus on two that really are important to what I'm talking about. One recommendation was that the unions reflect their identity and purpose, but that identity and purpose must be as they are seen through the eyes of their members. So it's not only what is, but also what they want to be in the future. So it's always forward-looking. And secondly, the union articulates a clear story. Who are we right now? What do we do? But who do we want to be and need to be in the future? The importance is that the members can see themselves reflected in this vision and in this union. So I always ask people to imagine a scenario how a union, you go on a rally or a march, I don't know what you call it, a demonstration, and you can picture hundreds, maybe even thousands of people standing together, trying to stand for a cause. Maybe it's the rights of teachers to do something. Maybe it's the right to decent pay. But imagine also what would happen that the union is calling for support and they say, on this date, at this time, we shall all be together at a common place and we will demonstrate for our rights. And the public is aware and it's well publicized and no one comes. This would be a really big message to any opposition, for example, government, of the weakness of the union. So as I said, it's knowing what we need to do and engaging people to do it. Our weakness is not being together. Our strength is to be together. Leila and also Azizan, who just spoke, will remember an activity that we did together. And I said, imagine we're on an elevator in a tall building, maybe 30 stories high. And we get in the elevator on the ground floor, and we are going to go to the 30th floor. And it's not a long ride, but it's long enough. And in this elevator, there are several young teachers. They are not your members, but you hear them talking outside and you know that they are teachers. And you are wearing your PGRI jacket. Maybe it's that day that you wear it once a week, I think. And they see your jacket and they say, what is this uniform? And you imagine that you have from now till the 30th floor to tell them who you are, what you do, who you represent. and you invite them even to join you. The activity we did was to say, if you cannot tell that story, that very brief articulation of who you are, what you do, why you exist, why they should join in a very short time, then you will probably not gain the members you need. Nobody is going to listen to a huge, long story. So for members to be engaged, I have tried to break this down into 3 factors. The union needs to be relevant and responsive to context, diverse in its appeal to various members, and visible to those it serves. And those are the members, the teacher in the classroom. The sand, if you think about walking on a beach, the sand is shifting under your feet all the time. Change is all around us. If we do not change, we will become irrelevant as unions. Think about what happened in 2019 and early 2020 when the COVID pandemic hit the whole world. Many of the unions we work with, when I say we, the Canadian Teachers Federation, we work with unions in developing countries, many in Africa, and they were hit very hard by the pandemic. In fact, many of them had to suspend their activities, and they have little resources. And what they did was they redirected all of the resources. So there is no professional development. There is no regular programming. All of their programming was focused on assisting their members to get through the pandemic. Sometimes it was providing food and the necessities of life. Sometimes it was helping them bury their loved ones in a dignified manner. But it was not, as I say, usual union work. But it was the work they needed to do to be responsive to the context. And when the pandemic was over and, well, nearing the end as it is now, what they have found is that these same people are using the very little resources they have to join in larger numbers than ever before. So this demonstration of responsiveness by the union created a response of loyalty and commitment by teachers. Another example of being relevant is keeping pace in changing times and showing that the union is modern, that it is up to date. When I started teaching, and I have been in education for a long time. When I was starting teaching, there was no internet, there was no email, there was no social media. So if I wanted to communicate with my union, I would write a letter or I would telephone. Some of you can't even remember that. You were not born when I started teaching, I think. But eventually we got fax machines so we could send documents. And then there were emails. And now you look at this, these are all the ways the CTF communicates with its members, and the members can communicate with us. We could not imagine not using social media today. We would not be considered up to date or modern if we did not. But here is a caution. Does it mean that we do not have telephones or we do not still sometimes send documents by mail or we do not have print? It's about a balance. It's about staying modern and making or having your members understand that you are keeping pace with the times, but you also cannot leave people behind. And this is Other than WhatsApp and using my email, I do not personally use social media. So there's people like myself who still rely on having communications in some of the old ways as well. You cannot leave people behind. And another way a union stays up to date and with its members is to understand our membership. And I really like this image because if you look at it, it's so diverse. You have people of many ages, many colors of their skin, for example. I can see people who seem to represent different religions because of the dress, etc. We are all teachers. We are all education workers in the union. That is what brings us together. But there are other factors such as age, gender, even the location where we work, if it's in a big city or a rural area, even our marital or family status create different needs and different perspectives on what the union needs to do for us. This does not only apply to programs, because you might think, okay, I am a young teacher beginning my career, so maybe what I need is a lot of professional development and career guidance. So that's what I want from my union. But it's not just that. It's also the structures of the union that need to be conducive to participation. For example, I worked very much with a union where the membership was mostly Muslim. It was in Afghanistan at the time. And we never had meetings on Friday because we knew that on Friday, and even though I come from Canada, which is largely Christian, I know that on Friday, many Muslims, especially Muslim men, need to have time to pray. It's very important. So you look at even cultural context and you respect that. The diversity of your membership needs to be taken into account. Everything from when a meeting happens to what is on the agenda will influence if a person engages with you and how they engage with you. When I was a very young teacher, I was in a very rural community. I was very far away from my family. I remember that the union that I belonged to at the time used to host socials on Friday. Friday for us is like the weekend is beginning. It's a social time. But if you are a young person who does not know anybody in the community, it can be a lonely time. So the union hosted socials on Fridays. And it was through one of those that I knew I wanted to engage with them. At that social, there was no evidence of union big promotion. They were not trying to sell, and for want of a better word, they were not trying to sell the union. It just simply appealed to me that they understood that teachers needed also to get together, or that we were a group who could support each other. Later, there was a strike that year. There was a strike. The union was advocating for more pay, and they needed to have everybody join together on a picket line. It was easy for me to go because I had already met the people I would be standing with. Finally, the union can only just appear when they need us. They need to be there and visible when there's no necessarily need. Whether it's through their communications, for sponsoring things that members can do, or for being a positive force in the community. Canada, for example, is a very multicultural, very diverse country, but with a fairly large Christian population. And right now, we are headed into the Christmas season. So in a few weeks, it will be Christmas. Unions will become very active in their communities, organizing food drives for those who need additional food, because there are many, even teachers, who do. They will sponsor community activities, for example, for the elderly. You may think this has nothing to do with a union role, but it does. It is a way to be seen, to be visible to their members, upholding and promoting the values and principles that we believe in. In this graphic on the screen, you see circles of concern, circle of usefulness, and circle of interest. From the member's point of view, you could look at it and say, what am I concerned about? What am I interested in? What is useful to me? And then the union must be concerned with the things we are concerned with the things we are interested in, and with the things that are of use to us. It does not work the other way. It's not like we say, I am going to join this union because maybe they are concerned or useful. It is up to the union to show its relevance, to be visible about its concerns and its interests and its usefulness. And the larger that section in the middle, where the intersection of my concerns and what my union is showing me as its concerns and usefulness, the stronger the union. So the bigger that section in the middle, the stronger the union is. In Canada, there is a big union, huge union, much bigger than my own. And it's the Canadian Union of Public Employees. And their national secretary treasurer made this statement because they were very much under attack in the last little while. And she said, it's a woman, Candace Rennick, we have shown repeatedly that when our rights are under attack, our labor movement is strong. We will stand up for each other as family. And after every win, we will keep fighting to ensure that no one takes away the precious gains we have made. The reason I put this quote on the screen is to highlight the reference to family. Who is more important to you than your family? Well, for me, I could say no one, even though I have wonderful friends, I have wonderful colleagues. There is no one who is more important than family. And that's what very often you will hear union people referred to as brothers and sisters, because the whole idea is that we are there for each other and we support each other. Layla will know, and she likes stories. So Layla will know that I cannot do any session without telling a story. So this is for Layla as well as everyone else. I'm going to tell, because I mentioned family, a story of a father and his sons. So the father was growing old, and when he was watching his sons, he had 3 sons, when they were growing up, it seemed like they were always fighting. They were not supporting each other. They were competing. They were, when one had something, the other wanted it. They often got themselves into trouble, and it was up to the father to intervene and help and sort of save them. And he wondered and he worried, what will happen to my sons when I am no longer here? So he thought that he should teach them a lesson. So if you see on the screen, there's a bunch of sticks, and I have some sticks right here, like a bunch of sticks like this. And he gave each of his sons first 1 stick, one for one son, one for the other son, one for the third son. And he said, I want you to break your stick. And they did. Very easily done. They broke the stick, each one. And then he said, okay, now I'm going to tie these sticks together. And he asked each one to try and break it. And they tried because they were very competitive. One said, oh, you can't do it, but I can do it. But in the end, nobody could break the sticks when they were together. And that is similar to a union. If you stay together, if you are many united, you will be strong. You will not be able to be broken. But each of us individually can be broken, and we are vulnerable without the support of each other. On that note, I am going to thank you for your time and turn the session back to the chair, and I will be happy to stay with you till the end of the session.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Beverly. It's a very interesting presentation. Let's give applause to Mrs. Beverly. Kita berikan emoticon tepuk tangannya, Bapak Ibu, untuk Mrs. Beverly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we will open for 2 questions. You may open your mic or send it through chat column. Baik, Bapak Ibu, sekarang kita memasuki sesi tanya jawab. Kami membuka untuk 2 pertanyaan. Bapak Ibu boleh membuka mikrofon atau mengirimkan pertanyaan secara langsung melalui kolom chat. Silahkan, Bapak dan Ibu. Ibu, suara saya kedengaran?
Ada yang raise hand, Bu Pin.
Ada yang raise hand, oke. Ibu Hajmia Guswika. Ya, please silakan Ibu Hajmia Guswika mengajukan pertanyaannya.
Assalamualaikum Bu Ervina, suara saya terdengar Bu?
Terdengar. Nama dan dari mana asalnya Bu?
Baik, mohon izin perkenalan dalam bahasa Indonesia dulu, tapi nanti saya izin menyapa juga para pemateri. Nama saya Hajimia Gustika, saya dari SD Islam Al-Azhar 57 Jambi.
Oke, silakan.
Okay, good afternoon, Beverly, Zizan. I hope you are having a great day today. I feel incredibly happy and proud to be attending this seminar. Okay, I'm sorry, Beverly. My name is Vika. I'm principal in Al-Azhar 57 Jambi Islamic Elementary School. I'm curious to hear your insight and interested in learning more about building unionism and solidarity. And I have some questions. First, how can organization foster a sense of unionism among workers to promote collective bargaining and collaboration? Second, in what way can leaders encourage open communication and engagement to building a strong foundation for unionism within a company? And the last, can you provide example of successful initiatives that have effectively built unity and solidarity within educational institutions, fostering a more collaborative environment? Okay, thank you, Ms. Ervina and Beverly.
Okay, thank you so much for the question, Mrs. Hajmia. There are 3 questions at once. All right, Mrs. Beverly, you may answer the question, please.
And they are very big questions as well. I think the first you asked about how do you foster solidarity. I think it's by having, as I said, the union has to have the same interests as the people. If we are not aligned, if the union is only doing what they think is, oh, this is our work, this is the direction we're going, and they don't listen to the membership. And how you listen could be as simple as having meetings for people to tell you. It could be surveys. It could be having lots of communication mechanisms where the people can give you feedback. But it has to be aligned. What the union direction is and what the membership interest and concerns are have to be together. You said how to build solidarity as well. Very often people unify around a common cause. Think about, and this is a terrible thing, but it is true, I believe. Very often common causes are when there is trouble. It's when somebody needs assistance. And Education International is an example where if, for example, there is a natural disaster, a landslide, or they will ask for other unions in other countries to come to the aid to give financial support or technical support. But it's the same with a union. When teachers need something, they need to fight back on a government policy, then we are threatened. That's when very often solidarity happens, when people stand together. And an example of building collaborative structures, this comes down, I think, to also being very open. The union has to be a place where people can, I think, say what they believe and what they think without fear that they will be not listened to, or that the union will be defensive and say, oh, don't listen to that group. They are just the primary teachers. They don't know. They are just the university teachers. They don't live in real world. So the union has to be transparent. You build collaboration by listening and being transparent in, I think, the two-way communication. I don't know. I think I didn't answer very well the last question. Nothing is coming very much to mind, but I hope that's okay for you.
Okay, maybe Mrs. Hasmia can say it again. The third question, can you repeat your question? The third question. Pertanyaan yang ketiga, Bu Hajmia, coba tolong diulangi. Oh, di-unmute dulu.
Okay, thank you, host. The last question is, can you provide example of successful initiatives that have effectively built unity and solidarity within educational institutions, fostering a more collaborative environment? Okay, thank you.
An example. Nothing is coming to my mind immediately, but I do know that programming that usually is targeted. For example, I can give you an example. I work with women's networks, for example. So getting groups of people with common interests together always builds collaboration. Beginning teachers are another group, for example, having programs that are targeted for a specific interest. And so what you have is then a certain collaboration based on commonality of need, which is not to say that they cannot cross, so that You have men working with women and youth working with more experienced people. But sometimes the union can build strength by saying, who are a group of people that we can bring together who have common interests? That is a good starting point, I believe.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Beverly, for the answers. Okay, now we have the second questioner from Mrs. Juniwati. Where is Mrs. Juniwati? Do you want to ask something? Hello, Mrs. Juniwati. We just raise the hand. Okay, next, Mrs. Rahayuningsih. Mrs. Rahayuningsih from Junior High School 6 Muaro Jambi, please. Sound is yours. Unmute dulu, Bu. Nggak kedengaran. Okay.
Hello. Hello. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bu Elvina, can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the time, Ms. Elvina. I have a question to Ms. Beverly. Hi, Ms. Beverly. Introduce. My name is Rahayuningsih. I'm from Muaro Jambi, Indonesia. I have one question for Ms. Beverly. How to build the spirit in a teacher for a teacher in building solidarity, especially in our regency. I repeat again, one more. How to build a spirit for a teacher to make the solidarity in our regency, to make the spirits for all teachers in the regency, to make all the programs in PGRE, in PGRE always exist in our regency. I think that's my question, Belvina. Thank you, Mrs.
Thank
Beverly.
you so much, Mrs. Rahayuningsih. Mrs. Rahayuningsih asked about how to build spirit of solidarity for teachers.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Mrs. Beverly, please, you can answer the question.
So we use the word teacher morale to be spirit, I think. It means keeping the teachers so that they have a good attitude towards teaching and their profession. And we use certain events, for example, World Teachers Day. And I think you are having an anniversary now as well. So using events to rally, to get teachers together, to show that you are one of many, that we share a common union, but we also are proud of the profession. So events or things that show the public that teaching is a very valuable profession is very important. During the pandemic, for example, healthcare workers were very highlighted. People saw how important the work they did was. And so healthcare workers, if you measured, there were many studies done where they were very tired, they were exhausted, but at the same time, their morale was very high because they felt valued. And that is the key. It's uplifting the profession and uplifting people to understand or believe that the work they do is important. And that's how it has to happen, whether it's in small groups or whether it's publicly through media, for example. But we take advantage of every event, World Teachers Day being probably the best example, to highlight the profession.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Beverly, for the answers. Okay, Bapak dan Ibu, maaf, because we have very limited time, so we just limited to 2 questions. Ya, Ibu Silvina Yuza, mohon maaf belum bisa kita lanjutkan dulu untuk pertanyaan berikutnya, karena kita masih ada satu lagi pemateri setelah ini. Baik, thank you so much, Mrs. Beverly, for the answers. Let us give applause for Mrs. Beverly. Oke, kita kirimkan emoticon tepuk tangannya untuk Ibu Beverly. Okay, now we come to the third presentation from Mrs. Lailatul Musharrafah about PGRI and Teachers in Struggle Analysis. Sekarang kita akan mendengarkan penyajian ketiga dari Ibu Laila Musharrafah. Mrs. Laila, are you ready? Yes.
Yes,
time is
I'm
yours.
ready. Thank you, Bu Ervina. PGRI Muaro Jambi. Yes.
Yes.
And then the second one, I would like to say my personal gratitude to Beverly and also Azizan. I should tell you further about Beverly before I go on to my presentation. So I and Azizan and some of my friends here attending here are joining JTF or John Thompson Fellowship, and Beverly is one of the resource persons, and then she is very incredible and then inspiring, and then I love her very much, and you can see that she brings the sticks to show you the analogy clearer gitu ya. Jadi tadi sudah dibawa tusuk sate untuk biar kita jelas bagaimana analogi yang ingin disampaikan oleh Beverly. That's so cool. And then so you can imagine how Beverly teaches in the classroom. So this is very live, and then lots of activities, and then lots of products. Jadi tidak hanya diam, tapi banyak sekali aktivitas yang kami kerjakan dulu waktu bersama Beverly. And then I'm going to try to share my screen first while telling you about the elevator pitch tadi yang sudah dijelaskan oleh Beverly tentang elevator pitch itu jadi begini. Kita sebagai anggota PGRI atau pengurus itu diibaratkan sedang berada di dalam lift gitu ya. Misalkan lift itu ada 32 atau 38 gedung, kemudian kita ada di gedung yang paling bawah. Kemudian we met new member. Jadi kita ketemu sama guru-guru baru. What are we going to do? So, bagaimana cara kita meyakinkan anggota baru atau guru baru yang belum menjadi anggota hanya dalam waktu sekian gitu. So that is one of the challenges that we should try out gitu. Jadi sebagai pengurus atau anggota BGRI itu juga menjadi PR kita gitu ya, bagaimana cara meyakinkan guru-guru untuk menjadi dan bergabung menjadi anggota BGRI. Okay, can you see my slide? Because I can.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, you can see that. Okay, this is the title of my presentation today, PGRI and Teachers in Triangle Analysis. I am Lailatul Musharrafah, Bapak Ibu. I'm coming from East Jawa, dari Jawa Timur, Biro Pemberdayaan Perempuan. Okay, I will move to the second slide. Well, I don't know, it's quite difficult for me to move. Okay, here it is. Maybe I will be doing in both in bilingual. I will use bahasa in English. So, Bapak Ibu, this is the big description or some of the pictures that we got from John Thompson Fellowship that was conducted in 16 up to 27 October just now. Well, I took some pictures of Beverly because I love her so much, as I told you before, but I only put 2 here. So this is what we have done. Again, there are some activities. We are 6 from PGRI, and there are 3 countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines. There are 5 organizations, and PGRI is one of them. And in one of the sessions, we were taught of triangle analysis. Jadi dalam satu sesi kita diajarkan untuk menganalisis PGRI atau organisasi kita masing-masing in triangle analysis. Firstly, I found difficulty to understand this material because we need to see PGRI in a broader way, karena kita orang PGRI, pengurus di dalamnya, jadi kita berkutat di dalam ketika kita diminta untuk melihat ke atas gitu yang lebih luas. It's quite difficult for me to understand. And then, well, after that, we understood, of course, because the help of the peer and also the instructor. So we got it. We understand. So this is kind of a historical approach, but this is still very, very relevant. So I'm going to talk about uh, hubungan antara teachers and PGRI in triangle analysis. So before that, I would like to show you how to play. Jadi di segitiga ini yang paling atas adalah individual behavior. Individual behavior deals with negative stigma toward a certain thing. Jadi pandangan seseorang yang sangat subjektif terhadap sesuatu yang belum tentu benar gitu. Kemudian we also in the left side we have system. Nah, sistem ini adalah aturan yang entah bagaimana itu sama dengan individual behavior. Jadi antara stigma negatif dengan aturan yang ada itu inline gitu ya. Jadi saling mendukung. I don't know why and how. And then powerful ideas. Powerful ideas is something powerful. The powerful ideas which is had or proposed by an organization or union. Kemudian powerful idea ini untuk mengubah individual behavior and system, there should be powerful idea. Powerful idea ini coming from the organization. Kemudian it comes to the effects. Nah, in a broader way, this is my personal analysis because this is my again historical research and approach. Jadi saya akan melihat lebih luas tentang PGRI dan bagaimana perannya dalam berjuang gitu ya untuk kesejahteraan utamanya ya, untuk kesejahteraan guru. C. The individual behavior is pahlawan tanpa tanda jasa atau unsung heroes. Jadi we are concerned to what is that? Teachers, karena memang PGRI itu adalah anggotanya adalah guru. So that's why isunya adalah guru. We know pahlawan tanpa tanda jasa menjadi individual behavior. Kenapa? It seems so elegant. So, oh my goodness, pahlawan tanda jasa, school. But you know what? Pahlawan tanpa jasa maksudnya adalah pahlawan yang tidak perlu memikirkan kesejahteraannya because it has no to do with the jasa gitu ya. Jadi materi itu menjadi bukan hal yang utama karena memang ucapan terima kasih kemudian dengan kesuksesan peserta didiknya itu menjadi sesuatu yang membanggakan oleh guru. So that is why pahlawan tanda jasa. And then we go onto the system. Nah, anehnya entah sebabnya itu karena suara guru yang belum didengarkan atau bagaimana, it is inline. Jadi pahlawan tanpa tanda jasa dulunya sebelum perjuangan PGRI itu secara sistem inline karena gajinya masih kecil gitu ya. Karena pahlawan tanda jasa sekali lagi it is inline and PGRI has a very breakthrough idea, a very powerful idea. PGRI realizes that okay, sebenarnya pahlawan tanda jasa atau guru itu apapun gitu ya harus diperjuangkan. Zaman telah berubah, kemudian kenyamanan, kemudian kemapanan, kesejahteraan guru itu harus diperhatikan. Tidak peduli ada pahlawan tanpa tanda jasa ini, tapi guru, kesejahteraan guru harus diperjuangkan. So this is the powerful ideas coming from PGRI. So PGRI at the time fought for teachers' welfare. So this triangle analysis is coming from the truth, what happened before, but this is still relevant what I said. Jadi sesungguhnya perjuangan PGRI itu bisa dianalisis secara triangle analysis gitu yang saya pelajari di JTF. So what next? What are the struggles of the PGRI? So here they are. If we count down before, we PGRI needed around 15 in struggling teachers welfare, but here I just put from 203 and then 205. So in 203 itu sudah ada lahir Undang-Undang 20 tahun 2003 mengenai sistem pendidikan nasional yang menjadi awal dari adanya reformasi dalam dunia pendidikan. Season 4 and 5 itu sudah muncul, sudah
Hello, Mrs. Laila. Halo, Mrs. Laila. Sepertinya terlempar atau bagaimana?
Sepertinya
Bu
terputus
Laila.
juga.
Terputus juga
Soalnya masih
ya.
ada di sini tapi saya terlempar.
Okay, so how are you now?
Itu tanda sinyalnya udah hilang tuh beliau.
Haruskah kita tunggu dulu Mrs. Lailanya?
Ya, Bu, kita tunggu sebentar. Ini sebenarnya sudah masuk.
It's quite different because this is by
Okay.
using campaign and at so there is no strike at all. So by approaching the government, the PGRI and government as the strategic partner, they are doing communication and so forth and so forth. So it will happen next time. PGRI is now still on the fight for the teachers. Well, the last but not least, what teachers do. Well, I am a teacher. You are all teachers, whether now you are already or not from the PGRI. But I hope after you join the seminar, you come to us becoming the member, so you know the impact or the benefits of joining the union. Karena dengan seperti yang disampaikan oleh Beverly tadi, jika kita union power, people power. Jadi jika ingin kuat gitu, kita harus bergabung di union karena kita tidak bisa bersuara sendirian. Jika kita ingin mengubah sesuatu sendirian, cannot do that. Seperti yang tusuk sate tadi, jika kita bersuara sendiri-sendiri dengan mudah sangat dipatahkan, but when we unite, so it is quite difficult for them to break us gitu. Jadi willingly, when you are teachers, you have to join the union to make your voice listened by the government. Jadi jika ingin suaranya didengar, harus bergabung dulu dengan union because union power, people power gitu. So what teachers do, of course, people do not move toward the future without honor. I mean here is apa yang sudah kita lakukan sejarah kita sebagai guru, bagaimana kita meningkat itu ada andil PGRI di belakangnya atau ada perjuangan PGRI, minimal kita mengingat itu, minimal ingatlah gitu. So Ibu, that
Okay, sepertinya sinyal Mrs. Laila is not really good.
I am put in the last, but that's fine. So thank you everyone. That is my short presentation dealing with triangle analysis of how PGRI fights for teachers' welfare. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Laila. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we will open for 2 questions. You may open your mic or send it through chat column. Bapak Ibu, sekarang kita memasuki sesi tanya jawab. Kami buka untuk 2 pertanyaan. Silakan Bapak Ibu bisa membuka mikrofon atau mengirimkan pertanyaan melalui kolom chat. Oke, cepat sekali ya. Kita sudah dapat the first question from Mr. Faisal. Please, Mr. Faisal.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the chance. Hello, Mrs. Laila. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, clear.
Okay, I have two questions. The first, could you give us some example or tell us about the activity of teachers among 3 countries that you told us, and what the good effect for another teachers? And the second question is, I just want to make a critical statement based on the condition of now on. government like only admin the teachers on this state school only. Jadi ini yang kedua ini adalah mungkin semacam critical statement ya. Dalam penerimaan P3K yang sekarang ini kita lihat ini dalam 2 tahun terakhir ini fokus pada ini sekolah negeri saja. Padahal anggota PGRI itu tidak hanya di sekolah negeri. Entah kalau di daerah Jawa Timur ya Bapak Ibu. Nah, jadi padahal gitu ya, baik itu di Dinas Pendidikan maupun di Kementerian Agama, ini angka sekolah swasta ini sangat besar sekali. Okay. It is. What do you think about this statement? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Faisal, for your question. Mrs. Laila, you may answer the question, please.
All right, thank you, Pak Faisal. It is nice to meet you today. You have very good 2 questions. The first is example of activities done by 3 countries. Azizan has presented, and we have nearly the same activities for enhancing teachers' competency, such as workshop training, online or offline, and we have also inviting some experts from the other institution to come to the training that we conduct, and then also the accompanying programs from union to the teachers in doing certain thing gitu ya. Jadi ada pendampingan juga, nearly the same Pak Faisal. And then while about your critical thing to the government dealing with why government only focus on the state school, yeah, okay. This can be one voice that we need to say. We need to what is that? We need to campaign. While as you said that it is also different from district to the other district, because this is also deals with the district policy. But I heard that yesterday Bu Ketum Bu Unifa talks about the next agenda is dealing with this. Jadi isu ini akan menjadi isu yang akan dibahas selanjutnya oleh PB. So Bapak Ibu, I hope that you are still voicing this. Jadi isu ini harus terus-menerus digulirkan sehingga tidak mati pelan-pelan isunya. Jadi perjuangan akan terus dilanjutkan. While in the fighting of this way, jadi gaya perjuangan seperti ini memang perlu waktu, tapi kita akan damai gitu ya. Tidak ada yang protes atau demonstrasi or mobilizing people. We are not doing that now. That is not the style of PB today. So it takes time, but I hope that Bapak Ibu, you have passion and passionate. You also have something to do for the other thing. So your welfare will be covered by other let's say other thing that I do not know what it is. So that is my my personal answer, Pak Faisal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Laila. Okay, that's enough, Mr. Faisal. Okay, thank you. Now we open for the second question. Please, you can raise your hand or send your question through chat column. Silakan Bapak Ibu yang mau mengajukan pertanyaan yang berikutnya. Any question? Sepertinya clear enough. Cukup Bapak Ibu? Adakah lagi pertanyaan? Dipersilakan.
Maybe for Beverly.
Ya, mungkin
because
ada
it's still
juga.
here.
Yeah, I see. Mrs. Beverly is still here. Bapak Ibu silakan jika masih ada pertanyaan, kami masih buka untuk 1 pertanyaan lagi, baik itu untuk Ibu Laila maupun untuk Ibu Beverly. Okay, we have one
question that I cannot answer. Okay, we have another
question. Okay, silakan Ibu Yulia Tan.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm late.
That's okay.
Yeah. saya bertanya karena saya belum mendapatkan benefit apa-apa dari PGRI karena I'm new members of PGRI Kabupaten Nganjuk dan hingga saat ini saya merasa pelayanannya sangat lambat gitu ya. Saya berkali-kali konfirmasi tapi ternyata saya tidak segera di verifikasi data-data saya dan saya rasa apakah ada ya gini loh kayak apa sih namanya pelatihan sebagai pengurus-pengurus atau eh, perkumpulan pengurus seluruh Indonesia untuk meningkatkan kinerja atau seperti apa begitu. Dan eh, saya saya karena member baru ya. Terus saya pernah tanya apa sih dari PGRI itu benefit yang kita dapat karena kan kita juga nggak digaji sama PGRI gitu ya. Katanya tadi diperjuangkan meskipun kita pahlawan tanpa tanda jasa tapi PGRI memperjuangkan kita dalam bentuk apa itu perjuangannya begitu. Terus kita tetap yang membayar kita juga yayasan kalau kita di swasta atau negara begitu. Mungkin bisa diberikan contoh benefitnya. Meskipun kita sebenarnya juga apa ya kita mengajarkan ngabdi gitu ya sebenarnya. Tapi karena tadi sudah disinggung tentang PGRI memperjuangkan para guru gitu. Nah, itu bentuknya seperti apa? Begitu. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you so much for your question, Mrs. Yulia. Now, Mrs. Laila, please answer the question.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, talking about benefit. Benefit when you join the seminar is also one of the benefits as the PGRI members, because if you are not the members, maybe you do not know the link of joining the international seminar. So that is one of the benefits. While for other thing is your question is how you can experience directly to become PGRI members. What is the benefit? So this is also one of our weaknesses. That is, we have large what is that? That's numbers of the teachers as the members. Jadi ini memang kemarin sudah dibahas bahwa anggota yang besar itu menjadi salah satu tantangan bagi PGRI untuk menyentuh sampai grassroots gitu. So that is why with EI, PGRI and EI has lingkar belajar guru LBG atau TLC, Teacher Learning Center. So in that activity done by PGRI and EI, this deals with the grassroots members. Jadi mungkin belum sampai di Nganjuk karena program ini akan terus berkelanjutan. Jadi ini adalah program yang memang menyentuh grassroots. So this is not dealing with the executive board. Jadi tidak pengurusnya, tapi benar-benar membersnya. Dan itu karena saya sebagai LO atau lead organizer di sini, jadi I know well how it works. So again, itu tadi karena jumlahnya yang terlalu besar mungkin tidak bisa karena di dalam lingkar belajar guru itu hanya dibatasi 35 peserta yang join untuk efektivitas gitu. While for the webinar like today you can join. Ada yang sampai ribuan itu selalu diadakan secara reguler oleh PGRI. Maybe because you are not in WhatsApp group of the PGRI, so it's quite difficult. The other thing is perjuangan PGRI. Perjuangan PGRI memang luar biasa. Undang-undang jadi dulu gaji kita itu state school gitu ya. Untuk yayasan it's different thing. Dan PGRI tidak bisa mengintervensi yayasan gitu ya, karena itu memang kebijakan yayasan masing-masing. While for general guru itu kenyamanan, keselamatan, profesionalitas itu semuanya di-backup. Jika adalah masalah hukum, you just can go to the PGRI karena kita punya LKBH. Kemudian jika ada masalah tentang teknologi pembelajaran, kita punya SLCC. Kemudian jika tentang perempuan gitu ya, kita punya pemberdayaan perempuan. And there are some other things gitu. Kita punya supporting bodies gitu ya, atau badan kelengkapan organisasi yang di situ bisa dimanfaatkan untuk mengakses atau mengadukan atau membicarakan hal-hal atau isu-isu seperti tadi. Kemudian terkait lambatnya pelayanan atau verifikasi, you can go to the pengurus cabang dulu, Bu Yulia. Jadi sebelum ke kabupaten, ke pengurus cabang dulu, silahkan untuk dikontak untuk diteruskan di pengurus kabupaten gitu. I don't know what happens karena sekarang sudah DGID gitu. It should be very short gitu. You shouldn't take time gitu in registering as the PGRI members karena semua sekarang sudah berbasis digital. Okay, thank you. I hope it answers your question.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Laila. Gitu ya jawabannya, Ibu Yulia. Okay, thank you so much for the answers. Let's give applause for Mrs. Laila. Tolong dikirimkan emoticon tepuk tangannya, Ibu Laila, Ibu Laila. I think Mrs. Beverly Park is still here, right? Okay. Actually, I'm very interested with Mrs. Beverly Park explanation. You said that Canada is a very multicultural, very diverse country, and in Christmas season, you're organizing activities that support people, especially for elders. I think that's really interesting because honestly, we haven't do that. I mean, in my district, we have done many kinds of activities, but mostly it's a kind of formal activities, such as conference and then celebrating Teachers' Day. But we haven't yet shown who we are in the society. So I think it could become a good example for our next project for PGRI Morojambi. Thank you so much, Mrs. Beverly Park. Okay, before we end this session, let's give applause to all of our speakers today. Thank you so much to Mrs. Beverly Park, Mr. Azizan, and Mrs. Laila Musharrafah for joining us and enrich our knowledge to improve the quality of Indonesian education. Terima kasih kami ucapkan kepada Mrs. Beverly Park, Mr. Azizan, dan Mrs. Laila Musharrafah yang telah bergabung bersama kita sore ini dan memperkaya wawasan serta pengetahuan kita dalam rangka meningkatkan kualitas pendidikan di Indonesia. Next, I hand it back to the MC, Mrs. Rika and Mrs. Siti Badriah.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Arvina, for guiding the presentation and discussion season. It's very interesting discussion. Well, before closing this event, we would like to thank all the keynote speaker and research person who have become magnet for this international conference.
Masih Bu Rita?
Mohon maaf. Terima kasih. Baik, sebelum menutup acara ini, kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada keynote speaker dan narasumber yang telah menjadi magnet pada webinar internasional ini.
And also to the entire international conference commit, thanks to their cooperation, this event was able to run smoothly.
Dan juga kepada seluruh panitia webinar internasional, berkat kerjasama dari Bapak Ibu semua, acara ini bisa berjalan dengan lancar.
And we would also like to thank the ladies and gentlemen who were present via virtual meetings.
Dan kami juga mengucapkan terima kasih untuk Bapak Ibu yang telah hadir di webinar internasional ini.
We don't forget to pray for all teachers in Indonesia on the occasion of the anniversary of the PGRI and National Teachers Day. Hopefully, education in Indonesia will progress further.
Tak lupa kami mendoakan seluruh guru yang ada di Indonesia dan di mancanegara dalam rangka Hari Ulang Tahun Persatuan Guru Republik Indonesia ke-78 dan Hari Guru Nasional. Semoga pendidikan di Indonesia semakin maju.
For all teachers in Indonesia, a great teacher is a teacher who always learns, works, carries out his duties sincerely, doesn't just teach but educates and leads, and is able to create fun learning because from our hand, a better generation of the nation will be born. Amin, amin, ya robbal alamin.
Untuk seluruh guru yang ada di Indonesia, guru yang hebat adalah guru yang selalu belajar, berkarya, menjalankan tugas dengan ikhlas, tidak sekedar mengajar tapi juga menuntun, serta mampu menciptakan pembelajaran yang menyenangkan. Karena dari tangan kita semua akan lahir generasi bangsa yang lebih baik. Amin, amin, ya robbal alamin. Liburan ke Jambi, jangan lupa mampir ke Muaro Jambi. Tak lupa pula mencicipi kue Padamaran. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu telah bergabung di webinar internasional ini. Semoga kita berjumpa di lain kesempatan.
I, Siti Badria, and my partner Mrs. Rika Apriani apologize for any shortcomings.
Saya Rika Apriani dan rekan saya Siti Badriah mengucapkan mohon maaf atas segala kekurangan dan kami akhiri.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.
Selamat sore.